Welcome to the Exchange YouTube channel, where lead pastor Jacob C. dives deep into current events from around the world.
Hey y'all, Jacob C. here. Today we're going to discuss the recent ruling from the Supreme Court of the United States on the issue of same-sex marriage. This has caused a big media storm in recent days, and we just want to give some direction for Christians on how they can respond. This issue has a lot of different nuances to it, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about a lot of these in days and weeks and months and probably years to come. But today we're just going to focus on initial responses to this situation that have arrived. We're going to have conversations around break rooms. We're going to have conversations with our kids. We are all tempted to start conversations or enter conversations in social media on some way. And I just want to provide some direction for how Christians ought to respond to some of these things. And I want to start by saying I think there are at least 3 ways that we should not respond. And I want to outline those briefly first. I think one way that we definitely should not respond is with an attitude that seeks to regain control of the culture. Typically, those who have been influenced by a period of American history where we have had what has been known as a moral majority see this as a threat to their control of society. And therefore, they want to try to regain that control. And this usually works itself out in very angry responses, or responses that really can just be boiled down to fear-mongering of some kind, to just sort of stir everybody up and rally the troops and start sending petitions and start boycotting things. I'm not sure that that is the most Christian response that we can have at this point. And so I would refrain from a response that really just seeks to regain a sense of control that we feel has been lost in our society. A second way not to respond is a way that seeks to gain credibility with our society. There are well-intentioned Christians, usually who are younger, who are trying to embrace this and have flat out accepted this, really with probably a good intention to try and love our culture and love our society. The problem with this response is that our gospel calls people to announce that Jesus is their Lord. And if we are not really being upfront and honest with that piece of our gospel, that Jesus Christ himself is Lord and not our sexuality, not anything else that we would want to have control over our lives, only Jesus is Lord. If we are not being upfront about that, I think that it is somewhat deceiving to just be blindly accepting to the culture, all the while knowing in the back of our heads that some time is going to come where you will have to choose either Christ or your sexual preferences, and we need to be willing to be honest about that. A third response that I've witnessed that is also troubling is one of just sheer confusion. Usually these are younger people who are afraid to speak out the truth because they are afraid of what the culture might say in response to them. Also, they are afraid to speak out too much love and grace for fear of what the church might say or do to them. And they end up in this confused place where they aren't really sure how to respond, and they end up neither responding with truth nor with love, and that is not helpful to anyone. I think there's a fourth way that we should strive to at least start with as Christian people, and that is a way of compassion. We're told in the New Testament that when Jesus looked on the crowds, looked on his society, he had compassion on them. And this is not a stance of arrogance. This is not a stance of moral superiority. This is a stance that believes and hopes that a kingdom is coming to the world. And if we believe and hope that that kingdom is coming to the world, then we should look upon people with a genuine and heartfelt compassion, because we believe that in that kingdom there will be certain practices that are not culturally acceptable. There will be certain behaviors that will not be tolerated in that kingdom that is coming. And we have a responsibility to love people well. We have a responsibility to share that kingdom with them from a place of compassion that is deeply rooted in our hope of that kingdom coming. And so what I would encourage you to do is, before you write that Facebook post, before you have a conversation around the break room in your work, before you approach your children and how to have these conversations, really pray and seek the Spirit to give you a heart of genuine compassion for a society that is walking away from an eternal kingdom that is coming, and what that will look like and the consequences that that could have. So let us not respond seeking control or seeking credibility, and let us step out of the fog of confusion and embrace a Christian, gospel-centered, hope-filled compassion for those who are lost and confused. Thank you.